As you get older, what's something that becomes increasingly annoying? Noise. So much noise. Apparently there's an age where noise doesn't bother you anymore. Petty stuff like clothes not drying up completely and they end up smelling damp. That's the worst. Gestures vaguely at everything. Gestures vaguely at self. People who don't know how and when to be quiet. I had to start eating in my car at work because having earbuds in and reading a book is no indication whatsoever to people that I don't want to be spoken to. People who not only yell while they're on the phone, but do this while having their call on speaker in a public place. My god, some man did that in the hospital waiting room while I was expecting my aunt to come out of surgery. It was insane. He could have easily left or even talked at a normal volume. Instead he answered, "Jerry, how the heck are you?" Right, double quotation mark. Distractions. They are everywhere and honestly I don't think it's just age that makes them seem like they are increasing. I feel like I'm constantly being distracted by things I'm not interested in. Stopped watching television. Can't take all the commercials, especially the drug ones and political ones. Can't the world just let us focus on what's really wrong and let us try to make it better instead of making us turn away? Stopped watching television. Can't take all the commercials, especially the drug ones and political ones. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it anymore, and once it seems weird and scary, it'll happen to you. No way. I'm going to keep rocking forever. Forever. People who aren't self-aware. There is a huge free weight area at my gym and people will still come and start working out like 3 feet away from me like it's no big deal. I've lost a lot of patience for people who don't pay attention to their surroundings. I have always thought if I could be a superhero, it'd be situational awareness man. Whenever I saw someone completely unaware of their impact on others, it'd do something extremely superheroish. I haven't worked that part out yet. Politics. We should do X. They tried that already. It didn't work. But it will be different this time. Narrator. It was never different. People who talk too much to make a point that could easily be made with half the talking. This meeting could have been an email. Robert. Willfully stupid people. You can't tell me what to do. I have rights. That some part or other of my body always seems to be in discomfort. I was so excited to have time off from my office chair for Christmas break. I thought my back would feel so much better. Too bad I laid in bed so much that my back hurt in a new life. Literally everything gets more tiring the longer you do it. I was thinking this, but I'll change my answer to responsibility. How paying bills or doing some basic things have not advanced with technology. Why are there service fees for automated phone payments? Kids, I've heard that you start to lose high frequency hearing as you age. And I'm just waiting for the day that I lose whatever hell frequency children scream at when people do not how to stop at a 4-way stop sign. Aggressive drivers. Youths, hair coming out of nose and ears. Like, why the frick? Acne in those places. People, what a bunch of bastards. Inconsiderateness. I'm 48 and I have increasingly less tolerance for people who don't say thank you. Don't hold doors. Don't talk quietly in restaurants. Don't control their kids in public. Tailgate while driving. Fail to clean up after themselves, etc. We live in a society. Damn it. A little consideration and kindness goes a long way. People who come to a dead stop just in outside doors or at the top bottom of a staircase in public places. Get the frick getting out of bed. 33 and still battling with acne. Like, I was okay with it at 13. I thought it was the normal teenage phase shoot. I also was kinda sorta fine with it at 23. Thinking I'm just a late bloomer type who does stuff longer than others. At 33 and no change in sight, I'm freaking pissed I got done dirty. 51 checking in. It's not as bad as it used to be. Just a lot of people in general. I have zero tolerance anymore for people who are rude or inconsiderate. I used to just let a lot slide and keep my mouth shut when I was younger. Not anymore. Noises. I'm in my 20s and I just can't stand random noises or even TV advertisements that are too loud. Having to go out in public. 71 here. Oddly very little. Can't think of one. 7 decades provides the luxury of how not to give a frick. It's startling sometimes to witness some kind of human dipshootery and to observe. Ha, I just don't give a frick. Gaff. Now there's plenty to gaff about out there. The near certain loss of the American Republic comes to mind. But all I can muster is, It was good while we had it. 76 here. Apparently I'm on your team. Kids doing stupid garbage to go viral for invisible approval. Licking ice cream in Walmart freezers and putting it back. Testing positive for COVID and sneezing in people's faces. Literally filming yourself in front of a dead body for views. People are idiots. How everything costs and how hard it is to be above minimum wage without being miserable or in massive debt. The lack of social change in any way that benefits normal people. Cold weather. I used to love bundling up with some hot chocolate and a good movie. Now I just think about how expensive the heating is and if my car will start. Cold weather in general is the most annoying thing. I don't care if heat is free or not. I just wanna go outside and not freeze to death without wearing 50 layers of tight uncomfortable clothing. A juvenile year. When I was young, there was always a subset of adults that would criticize our generation, and we wrote them off as out of touch idiots. Now many in my generation millennial say the same stuff about younger generations, not realizing that they're just being out of touch idiots now. The politically zealous people asking me to answer problems or questions they could have easily handled with minimal effort. I used to not mind it so much, but as time goes on I just think to myself, damn, you're an adult. You should know how to look up information or use common sense to solve this ridiculous society. Being awake. Sleep is the best. Girls playing dumb. When I was much younger it was cute and felt good to be able to teach a helpless girl or fix something for her. Nowadays I want to punch a girl if she pretends she doesn't know something. I don't mean just not knowing something, I mean I'm not even going to try and understand what you're talking about, and I'm also going to pretend I know less than I do. If you call me and say your washing machine is broken and I ask what's it doing, if you respond I don't know what the button thingy is doing, a beep thingy in the, oh man, it pushes me over the edge. Having this attitude since about age 15 kept me from getting laid more times than I can count. But at 37 I still get messages from girls from my past like, I remember you always being so genuine, or I always had so much respect for you. So willfully poor grammar. The trends of younger people. I realize that they are no worse than stuff I did in my younger days, but I'm getting old and crotchety so they annoy me. People showing up late. People asking if you're okay when you're just tired. Guys, I'm just tired. I have a new kid that keeps me up. I'm sorry I can't spend all day out and about anymore. But I'm absolutely fine. I'm happy. Genuinely, I'm just tired. Waking up every day. How easy it is to gain weight and how hard it is to lose it. FFS. Parents trying to act like know-it-alls. The fact that the US spends the most on education, but we are failing our kids at the same time. It takes forever to complete anything if it gets finished at all. Too much red tape. Other priorities. High costs. Other people not doing their part. etc. that take up your time instead. People not picking up their dog's shoot. Caring about everything. It took me far too long to realize that I don't have to have an opinion on every little thing. Like, it got to the point where I felt I had to Google actors before watching a movie they star in just to make sure I wasn't inadvertently supporting a predator or something. Expressionless face. Now I've learned to keep the bar low on my expectations for people. How fast time passes you by, the older you get. Young people on my lawn. I get it now. The older I get, the less joy I find myself getting out of the things that used to excite me. Video games, TV shows, books, Legos. Nothing really excites me anymore. I'm 40, wife, kids, dogs, 2 cars, small house but newly remodeled. Wife and I kept our jobs during the pandemic and actually came out ahead thanks to the stimulus payments. By all accounts I'm in a great position and should be having the time of my life. Call it burnout, depression, exhaustion. I don't know. All I do know is that every year older I seem to get, the less I enjoy the things I used to. I wish that would change. Definitely sounds like depression. You might want to see a therapist about it if you can. The reason old people moving slowly is a cliche. It's because everything freaking hurts. Inflation, children singing, microaggressions. I'm offended by things every day and have been in the 64 years of my existence. Toughen up. Neither you or your insert group here are especially important, and nobody gives a damn about what bothers you for whatever reasons. TikTok dancers. People talking very loudly. Noise in general. When you're buckling down and grinding out a job to raise your family right and people come around telling you to rally for this and that. Like dude, I don't have the time to be pissed off about economics I don't understand. People getting new technical devices. Getting a brand new phone hardly excites me anymore. I just get annoyed. Everyone, including me, attention-seeking behavior, management. That new plan has been tried before and always fails. How much earlier a drink too much is. By far the thing that annoys me most is when someone takes the position that if they disagree with something, all existence must cease and we must argue about that thing until everybody agrees, unless it affects me or others, and nobody asks my opinion. I don't care if someone disagrees with me. Condoms. Damn it. Wifey and I are both over 50. Time for some bareback fun. Politicians. Crowded and noisy places. Clothes. It's like after a certain age they try to get you to wear old people clothes. When younger people act like the world began when they were born and if they don't remember something, it must never have happened. In fairness, I hate it when people of any age do this. Learning more and more about people's behaviors and why they do what they do as we grow. It's tiring seeing through these acts. I wish people were as simple as we perceived them to be when we were younger. Things or people getting slow. You just start not having any patience for anything. You'd want this fricker of a driver to go faster because you know the speed limit is 40 but they're going 20. They're an old frick and you really believe that old people don't belong on the road because of this. People with characteristics such as braggarts, know-it-alls, pretentiousness, realizing I have to pay taxes. Taxes that aren't being representative of me, but some corporation. I'm not being represented, so why the frick am I paying so much out of my hard-earned money for a government who didn't work any hours of my job? Entitlement. Auto-tune. The music I grew up to. Metal. Being used in children's cartoon soundtracks and VH1 flashback specials. Americans on social media. They're insufferable. A lot of countries have this general view that Americans think the world revolves around them, and it's true. If I go on any form of social media and make a post or a comment to the effect of I'm living comfortably on minimum wage, there'll always be at least one angry American going all keyboard warrior on me for it. They'll never think, is he from another country where a hospital appointment doesn't bankrupt you? And they'll never think to check before running their mouths at you. You're on social media, so you must be a fellow American. People my own age. I freaking hate the smug entitlement of fellow Gen Zers. We're not as bad as boomers, but close. Noise. Minor joint pains. All my joints. When I approach some double doors and someone chooses to open and hold open the wrong door for me, completely disrupting the in right out left traffic design of these doors and ruining my day for 5 seconds. Rampant political correctness. Kids. Edit. Specifically any kid between 10 and 13. Standing in line. Waiting. I just don't care enough to have to wait for stuff. If I go out to eat and the wait is an hour, I say that's okay, thank you, and just go somewhere else. I'm sure the food here is really good, or this new game being released is going to be awesome. But forget standing around waiting, you'll just do that all later when there is no crowd.